just when I left, but then it was late. I wanted just to go quickly before it starts to get dark.
That's awesome. So, are you sure you don't want any more?
I'm good. That was delicious.
Good, good, good. I'll have some more.
It's a great meal. What is this tea about?
It's herbs
ginger.
that we grow here.
Is it ginger?
Ginger, lemongrass,
Nice.
and then yalang.
Yalang.
And what else? Yeah, this red. It's called the Wandering Jew. Before, when we moved here, every time you were served the coffee in the coffee shops, they always served you this like pink tea. I don't know if you remember, but now not now.
I try to drink green tea every day.
You like it?
Yeah, green tea or whatever tea.
Herbal teas, yeah.
And in the evening, chamomile tea. But yeah, this is the best. It's like natural.
It's all fresh.
Yeah.
Fresh is always the best.
Always the best.
And tea bags. Here they have so many good herbs for that. These pea flowers. You can buy pea flower and make blue tea. Like always, they call everything from color.
Yeah.
Green tea, blue tea, red tea. And it's super healthy. It's the same as blueberry. You know, the
really?
antioxidants in blueberry.
That much? They're
This
pretty
is like
strong
eating
blueberries.
blueberry.
Oh, nice. Butterfly pea, right? Gotta check it out.
Yeah. No, not butterfly. Is it butterfly?
I don't know.
Flower?
Just
Pea flower.
I don't know.
And it's what grows there. It grows up. It grows quite quickly. So you can have a plant from us if you have somewhere to
Yeah, we have one.
grow it.
I have 3.
Yeah? Okay.
You can take it in the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just water it a lot.
Just I would.
It's easy. Yeah.
You can show me after that.
Yeah.
And antioxidants is gonna
Yeah.
be what saves us from getting bad COVID. It's the only thing that is gonna be protecting us. Antioxidants. That's why it's so important to eat fruit and vegetables, because it's the only place you find it.
Yeah. Hey, you live pretty healthy here. Only one thing that I think you might come short of is, you know about the omega-3 oils? What do you take for that? I know they are only in like, if about vegan, in the walnuts, they're in walnuts and in chia seeds. Are really good. You know chia seeds?
Linseeds, you see this here?
Yeah, linseeds, yeah.
It's the best source.
Nice.
It's cheap.
Yeah.
And all this fish oil publicity, always comes from the fish industry. Always. All the research, you go down and see, paid by big fish.
And the capsules, their gelatin is pig, right?
Because you can't keep the oil in anything but gelatin because it dissolves the capsule.
Yeah. And they are for omega-6, they have another oil from what it is. I forgot. But this is also in the gelatin. And gelatin is from pig.
There are omega-3, 6, 9, 12. Different omegas we need, and omega-3 is the only one, not only, but it's the one that is anti-inflammation, and it's used in the immune system. But the fish source of it has been now. If you go to like nutrition facts, etc., nobody says that omega-3 is even important anymore. That's old information. And if you eat healthy sourced like seeds, nuts, you get more oil than you actually need. You need very, very little oil. Yeah. Salt and sugar too. We hardly need to.
One thing, the salt. I see the salt you use. There's the one thing is iodine. You know iodine. And okay, this is maybe for sports, but I think it's important too because iodine is not in all salts, right? So I just figured, like for example, in sea salt doesn't have iodine, and this I think really important. It does.
It does, but much less.
Oh, okay.
So what they do is that this is how they did. They had sea salt from the beginning, always. It was so important because they didn't have fridges. So if they wanted to preserve food in like cold Europe for the winter, to salt the fish. They had to
Yeah.
salt stuff. They made pickled vegetables,
Yeah.
but they put salt in because salt is antiseptic. So it kills bacteria.
Ooh.
So some people like Salzburg, they actually were the richest place in Europe because they had so much salt business. It was like a stock exchange. People got paid with salt, not in money. That's how important salt was. So when they had this product and we started being thinking that we knew better than nature, they said it's so hard to handle salt like this when it's sticky because sea salt sucks up water. So humid places like this and other places, the salt is not dry. So when you salt something, you have to take it with your fingers or a spoon. So to have the salt things, whatever you call the salters, they had to take away the minerals from the salt that sucked up the water. One of them is iodine. So when they did that, this salt became very unhealthy. And that's the salt they still use everywhere, when they make meat, when they make snacks you picked up. It's very unhealthy salt, which raises the blood pressure. So the doctors say, oh, you eat too much salt for your blood pressure, you have to stop eating salt. But no, you have to stop eating the unhealthy salt. You have to go back to the pure sea salt because we have the same salt. Salt is a mixture of minerals, and it's super important to have the right ratio. So if you have this much iodine, you need to have this much iron and magnesium and calcium. But if you take away one, you destroy your electrolytes. You know the electrolytes. For sportsmen, it's super important to have.
Now when you talk mentioned about the minerals and the electrolyte, so I figure the best salt is Himalayan salt, or you believe it's like a.
That's another type of salt. There are many salt crystals. Salt is the first chemical word. So it means like chemical with minerals in it. So mineral composition is salt. And okay, so how do I explain this? When you find salt in rocks, like in Himalayan, then the composition of the minerals is different. It does not suck up water. If it would have sucked up water, it would all run out from the rock and the caves. That's the sea salt. Now the sea salt is healthier for us, but if you need certain minerals that you don't have in rock salt, like the famous magnesium is higher, for example, in rock salt. Then you need to eat that type of salt, but that depends what you need. So if you want to just keep water in your body, when you go running a lot, like marathon runners, they should not take Himalayan salt. They should have sea salt. Because your water in the cells, we come from the sea. So the water in our cells should be the ratio of the sea salt.
Interesting.
So to salt yourself, if you sweat a lot because you lose the electrolytes, the salt, then you have to drink a drink which gives you more salt to keep the water in the cells.
That's a thing, like, because for example in an afternoon session, I would drink like 4.5 liters maybe. Like we sweat a lot, like we just keep sweating when we start until the end. The morning also like 1 or 1.5 liters at least. And then sometimes I put some extra salt, but it's always a question. I believe like iodine was important because, and then I have the sea salt and there's written like no, doesn't have iodine.
Okay, so let me explain iodine. So one iodine was what they took away from this easy to use salt. Then people started getting deficiencies, disease. and they realized what's happening. All of a sudden, everyone gets very swollen thyroid and goiter.
Yeah.
Very bad disease in the turning of last century, 1900, 1910, etc. They said, oh, it's because we've taken away the iodine.
Yeah.
So we have to add iodine again. But they didn't go back to the cheap sea salt.
Yeah.
What they did is like typically human scientific make a product.
Yeah.
They take the already destroyed salt and they add extra iodine.
Okay.
So they have a refined salt, and to stop goiter, the not the producers but the government decided by law they had to add iodine back, so they could still keep their high prices. But the one figured it out, just go and buy the freaking sea salt.
Gee.
And in Europe now, the sea salt is like luxury, and they charge so much for it, like the French sea salt, the Atlantic sea salt. In these countries that are not destroyed yet, you buy sea salt everywhere. It's what they use, right?
Okay.
When I was a child in Spain as well, it was always sea salt. Yeah, fair enough, you had to take it with your fingers because it was all, they put rice in it, so they would take the water instead of going into the salt.
I remember that with the rice, yeah.
But now in Spain has this salt too, with extra iodine. And it's true, iodine is important, but it's even more important to get the right age.
I would like to just try for once. One time I watched this doku about how we say in English. It's goats or some kind of like goats or sheeps. You know, on the wall is with an incline like that, you know, and they go there to lick the salt.
Wow.
And they risk their lives because it's really it's like that. It's like a wall. You know what?
No, but they know exactly what they need.
Yeah,
they listen to the body.
They have to walk like, and if one step wrong, they would fall, they would die, and they just to lick the salt with the minerals. And I just think, how would the salt taste the rock? It must taste so good because it must be so have so many minerals. Because if they're alive, they go there for they risk their lives to. That would be interesting.
So what kind of drink do you drink?
No, I would just I use a lot of syrup for the sugar, and then I just add. I have Himalayan salt, so I put water and syrup and some Himalayan salt, and I take the creatine because I read if you eat vegan, like mainly vegan, there's not enough creatine. Did you research about that? It's bullshit, isn't it?
Total bullshit.
Yeah.
You always have to check who paid for this information.
Oh, okay. Where I get a lot of.
But you've seen Game Changer now.
I watched it like it was quite a while ago when it just came out. I forgot already.
They go through quarantine. No, you don't need that. You actually don't need
but here's
any
the thing.
Extra proteins.
Here's the thing, like, I know the body produces creatine itself, but maybe, I just wonder, like, because in that sport it's like extreme, so I figure, I think maybe a little bit more creatine. Okay, I think it's not necessary, but what I think is necessary, what I read in many, wherever I look, is vitamin B12. You know about it?
Yes, but that's everyone. Not just us.
Yeah.
Because B12 comes from bacteria in the soil.
Yeah, in the soil.
And we don't drink from rivers anymore. We drink from tap water.
So you supplement with
you have to, if you want to be careful. But me, when we buy cilantro, for example, or a carrot, or even a potato, I don't always 100% clean it. So I try to get a little bit of salt. If we make a ginger juice, something that goes in the mixer, for example, because then I know you can't have any small stones.
Yes.
And I put the ginger peel in the mixer as well. I wouldn't put potato peel because there's some toxins there, but roots,
Okay, yeah. But for safety, I would still take I take a multivitamin B complex.
Yeah, we take actually B12 and multi.
Because what I read is like if you don't take it and then you go vegan for like maybe in the 1 to 2 months it's like nothing, but if for like years, maybe 4 years, 5 years, and you never take vitamin B12 and then get some problems.
Yeah,
like
no,
serious.
you will feel it immediately.
Yeah.
So it's relaxed. So no, it's true. It's good to have extras. And it depends a little bit where you live.
Yeah.
Vitamin D is so much more important than the B12. In countries that doesn't have any sun, for example. So it depends who.
Yeah, D is from the sun, or was it D or E?
D.
Yeah. I think that is not an issue.
Multivitamin is what you can do, and then you don't have to worry.
Ah,
and
yeah,
just take a multivitamin.
Multivitamin.
And you don't have to think or feel or.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I think too much, and sometimes don't even need it.
And when you produce your drink, if you cook some herbs like that, and you add the salt, shake it. When it cools off, you add a good honey.
Yeah, honey.
That's the best recovery drink you can do.
Okay.
A good honey with the enzymes from the honey.
Yeah.
But if you heat it up, if you put it in when it's hot, the enzymes die.
Ah. Okay. I always put the honey in the hot tea.
I know.
Is that? Yeah. Okay.
They kill the enzymes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll check about it too. The honey is.
Yeah, the nectar and also the. And honey is not. It's claimed not to be vegan.
Yeah.
Because it comes from the inside.
Yes, I read that also.
But it also, if you don't want to be violent to the bees either, you just make sure to buy it from someone that hasn't killed the bees.
Oh, I remember in France, south of France, my grandparents' area. I would walk around and see the boxes with the bees, just in the woods. Pretty cool.
Yeah, and there, like in Spain, they don't kill the bees.
Yeah.
But a lot of people think, oh, you always kill the bees.
Yeah.
No, not at all. They love their
that's
bees.
the thing, like when you say somewhere nowadays, if you say somewhere, oh, I'm a vegan, and the people they would, why do they put you in the, like, you're extremist, you're radical or whatever.
And I understand that because there has been
so I try not to be any of this or anti-black or anti-white or whatever. I just try to be myself and stay away from all this stuff, but you can't avoid it. It's impossible because there's always someone who would point the finger on you. Oh, this guy. But I figure everyone, all the people, they have their own problems, but there are too many. Then instead of figuring this out, they would be like, oh, look at this guy. Don't look at me. Look at this guy. Yeah, that's
the shame and blame culture.
Kind of, yeah. And what is the thing with the Black Lives Matter? Like, I don't even know. I hear people talk about Black Lives Matter. What is it? Is it like?
There was this guy killed in.
Yeah, this I know. The police. I saw that. Yeah.
And then there was an organization before that is called Black Lives Matter.
Oh.
But that organization is paid by a guy that I don't trust at all. He's all giving money to someone that makes money when the interest rates in countries go like this. So if he wants the economy to go like this, he pays these organizations to demonstrate an Antifa. He gives them money.
So now it's a big thing, or?
Big demonstrations around the world, but I think they have stopped, right? Or are they still going on, the demonstrations?
No, they're still demonstrating.
Black Lives Matter. And then a group of activists actually took over a part of Seattle, right? And Trump sent out army.
Yeah. It's crazy
now
in America.
This is right now.
Yeah. Portland, Oregon. Yeah.
And that's the other thing. Is it already this year is the new presidential debate? I've got to be honest. When it's crazy how fast 4 years pass. But I'm not much into politics. But I just found it amusing
Yeah.
when Trump and Hillary, because okay, Trump, he's just like, I don't know, he's a funny character.
He
I
is a
don't know.
funny character. I agree.
Yeah.
If you're not American, he's probably funny.
Yeah, I think it's pretty funny. And you know, and SNL, or they like jokes about it, right? What was the name? The famous actor.
Alex Baldwin.
Yeah, Baldwin.
Yeah.
That killed me. Yeah.
Now they have another guy that has taken over.
Yeah, which guy? Maybe you have to
I
send
can
me.
send you video.
I think Baldwin is hard to beat. Just
Yeah.
like this guy killed me.
He's hard to beat. But and of course, yeah, America is an interesting place right now. Definitely. It's hard to understand for Europeans. It's like,
Well, yeah, it was funny when he, because the debates, and then Hillary accused him of something. Wait, was it? Yeah. And then how he changed the topic, like I forgot. It was funny, and he made jokes about it. Yeah, like, and then she said something. Yeah, but you this, and then he speaks to the not to Hillary, but to the. And then he said, but Hillary, you know, he just like don't go right into it. But Hillary, she did it, and then you know, and then in Christmas in my family we made jokes about it. That was funny.
so what about Germany? Do you follow politics there? In medical?
I don't even. No, it's like.
Do you vote?
I don't even know what's going on. Like my family, they stay there, but they are. All I need to know is like they are safe. They're in the house. They are safe. They're good. They have everything they got. No need to worry too much. Just only my mom's chemotherapy. This is the only thing I worry. And my father, he had the operation on his foot, but he's alright. He's walking in the woods. He sent me pictures when he's in the woods. So bad. And my brother, I worry. He yes, because he smoked too much. But about the politics, I figure my family, they are safe in the house, no need to worry. And I think there's too much going on, like but nothing you can do really, right?
But if you compare from a historic perspective, this is a perfect time to make.
This is a perfect time. Also, I don't know.
But there's no war in Europe.
Ah, yeah, okay. Yeah, of course.
There is actually time to think. You're not so poor you just have to work and sleep.
Yes.
People, everyone, even poor, get educated. Women are have the right to vote. We have the right to say no to sex, which is absolutely super new if you think from the women perspective. The first country that made it legal for a woman to say no to sex in marriage was Sweden, 1965.
Yeah.
So that's how late it is. In many countries, here for example, there is no law. A woman can't get raped if she's married to her husband. It's crazy. Most countries are like that. So from many perspectives, it's easy to think that it was better before. No. We are in, and that's probably why we have so much time to think and philosophically talk about politics and talk about this, etc. Because we don't need to work every day. Like if you see here in China, they work 6 days a week, full hours. So I think it's important to know history to see that we are very lucky.
Yeah, and compared to that, actually, that's true.
Yeah, and there is no, and there is a plague going on now.
Yeah.
But there has been plagues before. Big plague like diseases.
A plague, yeah, plague.
Pandemics. Yeah. But we always we have. If there's nothing to worry about, the human beings always picks up something.
Yeah, they will make there will always be some problem, and there need to be always some problem.
It's a very good driving force to worry.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you might just like watch TV all the time.
Yeah, I mean, some people wouldn't mind, but people can't just have it too quiet. Always need some action or some things some craziness, some apocalypse or whatever.
I think that's one of the reasons why we like watching violent movies.
Yeah.
Which is still the case. Most people watch violent stuff.
And drama movies and whatever. Yeah, if you figure
fights, boxing fights, people love seeing that because
sometimes I feel like all the violence on TV. Sometimes it's like I'm not too much into that, but I can understand like some people's enjoy.
Yeah. And so you don't find Mua Thai violent?
Yeah, so, well, I used to watch a lot, but more for the study purpose, to study techniques and stuff. I'm not really enjoying, like many people in the gym, they love enjoying the blood and the hurt and the whatever. And it's not, I don't enjoy it, but I like to watch it to learn something, if I can learn like a technique or something. But and the spirit of if someone is like in a bad situation, that makes the fighter, like not only for boxing but for life. I think like you put someone in a bad situation and see how they deal with it, because that's the fighter spirit. Like kind of that I'm really interested in that stuff. Yeah, but violence, when I watch a movie and they start to stab someone and start them with the blood, I really hate that. I don't like that. And I figure some people they enjoyed it, but I don't know. There's no joy in that. Like, if about stabbing and shooting someone.
I think we like to feel fear. And today there's not much to fear.
Yeah, man.
And then they say, "Oh, I don't want to feel fear," but yeah, we do.
Yeah, like with the movies, maybe they create a lot of fear too. Yeah. And like if they watch horror movies with the ghosts and they can, and then when it's dark outside, someone would walk outside, but it's all in the mind. Actually, there's nothing. Like when I go last night, I go to the toilet, whatever. If I would watch so many horror movies, I would be like walk like this. And where's the ghost coming every moment? There's no ghost in here, right?
And it's a good way to. I mean, parents do that all the time to the kids. Careful, don't do. Careful. You know, it's the way of manipulating people to make them feel fear of everything.
Actually,
don't pay the taxes.
My friend, I kind of observed like a lesson, really important lesson. My friend with his wife in Germany, he came with his son like 2 years old, and with the girl, the girl I came with here, I was at the time with her, and there was like last year I think, and we all went to this in Charm. There's some like a park with the the monkeys with the long hands, right? I forgot the name. You know the monkeys?
No.
In Charm they have some monkeys with like really long hands.
Wow.
Different monkeys. They are really small, and there's like a park, and they have like not too many, maybe 4 or 5 in the trees. And there's like a sign like don't give the monkeys anything, and something like be careful with the monkeys, they're dangerous. And then we walk on. Monkeys came, and we had some bread. And then the monkeys they're curious, they came close and look. And then we had the bread. We wanted to give some, but Soraya, she said like, oh, the sign. She said no, it's the sign. They say you should not give them anything. They're dangerous, something. But my friend, he just completely ignored her. He just go with his son, and he took the bread and to his son in his hand, and then he put his son here, and then the monkey just took the bread and he ate it, and he go, and then we feed them some more. They did nothing. They just wanted the bread. They were friendly. Like they might be eventually, but it's like it's in the head. So my friend, he was just like totally not afraid at all. Like he say, oh, they're friendly, so gave them some bread, and then. If you would listen to her, so she was like, no, don't do this, it's dangerous. And then I observed, I was just standing and observed the whole scene, the situation, so it was. And I think like the people, they put the sign, they tell me they're dangerous, but what I saw was they were not dangerous, so.
Yeah, maybe there were other explanations and they don't care to explain, they just say they're dangerous.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, so I think the people create a lot of fear then. And this is just like one of many examples, right? For example, maybe the COVID, I think.
In America now, what's going on? So it's such a fear-based society.
Yeah.
And that's why I would not like to live there, because everyone,
Yes.
everything is based on fear.
Yes.
So they buy guns to protect themselves.
Yeah,
From
yeah, I
who?
hear that too. Many, even
It's
my
like-
friends. And yeah, I actually get more fear. I have more fear from the people, from the crowd, what they're gonna do. Like when you go to the airport, whatever, and they put you 2 weeks in some quarantine. What is this quarantine? Where do they
Yeah.
put you? What they are gonna do to you? Maybe then in quarantine, maybe then they give you the COVID or something. I don't know. I'm more afraid of the people. So if I can, I would just stay here and just train. Yeah.
Me too. But I miss my children so much.
There in Spain.
In Sweden.
Sweden.
And I was going to go there before I go to Spain. And I always go to visit my family.
That time, yes.
And on my mom's birthday, 80th birthday, was in June. She's planned it for a year, you know.
Oh, 80s is
And
it?
I
Yeah. You couldn't. Yeah, that's the
I was
best.
with them on a video call. It was just like
Yeah.
so surrealistic, but that's where we are going. We're going to live through our screens more and more. And I don't say it's bad or worse, because it's pretty nice to be here. We have good mangoes and nice climate, but and I can be with them through the screen, so I can actually have both lives. If I wouldn't be able to talk to them, I don't think I could be here. I would have to, if like before when I was young, we had to write letters.
Yeah. I remember that.
You
Yeah.
did? Wow.
That was like just like when it started. I remember though.
My sister lived in Zimbabwe. We wrote letters. She received it a week later. There was some question in it, and by the time she sent it back, I have already forgotten the question. And it's like crazy. Now we just.
But yeah, I think letter. I even thought about to write a letter, but then I think, oh, now with COVID maybe, and then they touch the letter, and then they get COVID now. Yeah, otherwise I would have sent some and write
It's a
some.
good point.
It's more personal.
Much more personal.
Yes. Yeah, these times are over. Letter times. Had the letter friend. Yeah, letters. I think that was just the end then, and I just saw it too.
So you had a letter friend?
Yeah.
From school?
I did, yeah.
With this, do you remember who or where?
I just remember Mario. It was my father's friend, his son. And then we were friends, and because they live far, and then we started to write letters. And then we
in Germany.
Yeah, in German. And then we wrote some questions, and then we had some game. You know this game, like they have this, tap, 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 and then you have the X and the.
Yeah.
And then we just made this, like one time you, one time me, something like that. Yeah. And then I have some letters, and I have them in the box. I have my, the shoebox with old stuff. Maybe you have something like that. Everyone, not everyone.
Yeah.
Some people with, it's like something, whatever from the past.
Yeah, I have that.
Every few years you open that box and then you see, oh shit, and then you remember. Yeah, I miss my shoebox.
So what do you think you're gonna end up? Are you gonna stay in Thailand 10 years or?
No, I think. Actually, this is already my plan, like since a month or maybe a year. I think I'm gonna finish my fighting here. I do more fights as I can, and then someday I'm gonna say, okay, I'm done with the fighting. Then I will go to Taiwan. I think,
Taiwan?
I will go open my gym somewhere, but I have in mind Taiwan because next year I can get my passport, because my mom is from Taiwan, but I don't have the passport yet because I have to wait until 36. And then I don't have to go to the army. They say don't go to. I would have to go 1 year to the army. And they say don't do it because you waste one. It's like you waste 1 year of your life.
Taiwan has been very smart now how they deal with.
They're that good with the COVID, I think.
And what about how's the climate in Taiwan?
Yeah, that's the thing that I love, because in the south of Taiwan where I would live, Kaohsiung, there's like the climate is almost like here, maybe slightly colder, but I think it's like pretty much the same. And then there's Taipei, it's in the north, and there's like cooler. Like it's pretty fresh. And then there's the train. It's like it just takes like 2 or 2.5 hours. So if I would live, for example, in Kaohsiung, and it's always hot and warm, and then one day I say, okay, maybe today I want to have it a little bit cool, go some shopping, take in the morning, go up to north, have a cool day, and evening come back. I think the climate is good. Yeah.
And you're not afraid Chinese invasion?
Oh, no, I didn't really think about it because yeah, maybe I should because yeah, they're protected by America. Taiwan is protected by America, but if they don't pay them always, like, and someday they're gonna, then China is just like waiting. I think, yeah, actually.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, but I don't. Yeah, I don't think maybe not. Who knows? But it's like wherever you go. Like if I be Taipei or Africa, I don't know. Should I go to? Sometimes when I was younger, now it's okay, but when I was younger, I always had like kind of like kind of like a fear. Like when I go outside, I feel like all people are watching me, even though they are not. But I always have the like everyone's watching me and observing me, and like I felt like uncomfortable in the public. This is now okay, even though when I'm here, I'm like one of the tallest everyone see me, but it's okay because there's no uniform. And then I thought, what is the best to deal with such a thing where you feel uncomfortable? It's like to face it, right, instead of run away. So if I would be a white person in Africa, everyone is black, and then I'm the only white guy. Maybe this is like, I don't know. I wonder how that would be like, but maybe.
My sister lived in Zimbabwe for 25 years.
Yeah, 25. So how is she like? Does she like it there? Obviously.
Well, no. It didn't end up well at all.
Yeah.
Because
also racism.
They were farmers. Her husband came from. He was a white.
Yeah.
He studied university agronomy. So he was a very well-educated farmer.
Yeah.
And it was during apartheid, and he was against apartheid. He was white, and he was against. It's like 3 or 4 generations South African. So many young students at universities in South Africa, they said they went to Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
That was at that time a British colony.
Yeah.
It was called Rhodesia. So David and others, they went to Rhodesia when the civil war started, to fight against the British, to make Rhodesia free from the British colonialism. So they fought in the war, and then the British, they left it. So Rhodesia became 2 countries, Zambia and Zimbabwe. And then David started farming. A few years after, my sister was there working as a health aid organization. They met, she stayed on and married. They had 2 kids, and they had 2 more kids, and twins actually. One looks so much like you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they had a huge farm, and many of the farmers, they built everything from scratch themselves.
Yeah.
But David, he was and Maria, my sister, were very special because the white old farmers, they had some ideas on how to do things. Maria and David had new ideas.
Yeah. For
example, they allowed everyone to work if they were good.
Yeah.
It didn't matter because other farms, for example, they didn't allow single women.
Yeah.
No single women were allowed. They never got a job.
Yeah.
They would say, why?
Yeah.
So they even employed. And then they had like a sharing, a quite socialist system where they, if it went well, they gave the farmer a piece of land. So he became his own farmer more and more. So people wanted to work there. So 10 years of loyalty was very good. And he had very good. There were 250 families living on their farm at that time. They had 2 big lakes to water. It was tobacco that they did. But that wasn't uncommon. It was big farms. So the president that was the first president there after they were free, Mugabe, they say, I don't know if you remember, but he was like the golden boy of Africa. Now finally an African country is going to be the new Australia, they call
Yeah.
it the new Australia.
Yeah.
But he also got twisted of power, and he started making more and more dictatorship.
Yeah, yeah.
And then finally, when he fought the civil war, he had said to his military, "Fight for me, and I will give you a lot of money."
Yeah, yeah.
But he didn't have the money. So after 15 years, he became more and more corrupt, took more and more money from the government, from the people, like, you know, Africa's leaders. They're all the same. And then finally, what he did was that he said, "Okay, I can't give you money, officers, but you can go and grab the land." And that was the war veterans, so-called. And they started taking farms.
Yeah, just take it.
And they took Marie and Stephen and David's farm.
Yeah.
But David was the first one they actually took and killed. So they killed her husband and tortured him. It was really bad.
Oh,
And it wasn't coincidence that they started with David, because he had this very free thinking. He was member of the Mugabe party first. But then he left the party because he didn't agree with becoming more and more dictatorship. Yeah, so my sister, she was lucky in the sense that she had just gone to pick up the kids.
Yeah.
They had 2 6-month-old babies, twins, the one that looks like you.
Yeah.
And she had just gone to the Swedish embassy to pick up their passports.
Yeah.
So she had the teenagers and the 2 babies. So she and the kids were in the car.
Yeah.
And they said, "You cannot go back home."
Yeah. Jesus. If you would have gone back.
They would probably have taken her too.
Yeah. Jesus.
So what she did was to find human rights organizations.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they started Avaz then, but it worked with Amnesty and others, and they tried to sue Mugabe. But of course there's no law that says that the president cannot kill who he wants.
Yes.
Every president kills as much as they want. But they found one after 9/11 in the US. The US government was kind of tired of extremists. So they just said, okay, this law case right there, it was like 10 years after.
Yeah.
And they made some international law. So she actually won with some other widows because they continued killing white farmers and taking farms.
Yeah.
So there were 4 women, and they won in this international law. So Mugabe had to pay back money to the government, to the people. So they froze his accounts.
Yeah, they can do that.
Yeah, they could do that, but of course he overruled. So the law case went on and on and on and on, and 12 years after, he got his money back, or some of it, and my sister was just, okay, I showed my kids I did what I could do. She was just tired.
And she lived in Sweden from then on.
Now she lives in Sweden. She first stayed at the Swedish embassy for quite some time, and CNN and everyone was there.
Yeah. So, gee, this doesn't sound like good. That was Zimbabwe.
Yeah, and that's what I mean with reversed what do you call it? Racism. I mean, there's racism everywhere.
That's what I wondered was like, if I would live in Africa, everyone was like, I thought about living in Africa, open a gym there, and then I felt like, would the people be friendly or not? And then I thought like, maybe not, because I don't know, like I feel like I watch also, like I try to watch whatever country, but maybe.
Have you been to southern Spain?
No.
I think you would fit there very well.
Yeah. South of Spain. This like there are a lot of Africa too. This like Africa a little bit. Or what do you mean? Oh.
It's not like Africa at all, because in Africa you have a lot of.
Yeah.
There's a lot of testosterone there.
Ah. Yeah.
You walk somewhere and you feel
Yeah,
how they just want to kill you.
That feeling, I don't like that.
US, England, Sweden, when a man walks into a bar, he can feel how he's like, has to protect himself. Never happens in Spain.
Yeah.
Everyone is just happy. There is no testosterone in those countries. And he's just amazed. Like, he can walk anywhere. He can walk into a crowd that is drunk, and he never feels that anyone wants to hit him in Spain. We call it testosterone country or not. And it's the culture. It's the culture in Spain. If you see football games, there are never hooligans in Spain.
Yeah. Actually, it sounds good. And now when they will not allow the smoking, even better. You think they cannot pull that off, do they? You think?
I don't know how.
There are too many. The smokers is too much. Too powerful.
You don't want to go there now with COVID, but if you open a gym in Malaga, and the good thing also with Malaga is that it's super international. You can speak English, but it's quite poor. So the average income is like the minimum income is 800 euros, which means everything is quite cheap. So you can easily have a apartment for 300 euros a month. You live for maybe eat for 100 euros. So with 500 euros you go around quite well actually with costs. And I'm sure that this kind of Mua Thai gym would work very well.
Yeah, this is like, but the good thing is like, I can really choose like, not everyone can do, but I think I can really choose where in the world, in the whole world I would like to go. But the thing is, I still have time, like, because I feel like
you should try Taiwan if you ever thought.
Eventually, I also would go there. Like, there's my grandmom's. She's over 90 now, but I got
nice
family there.
It's nice to live in both family countries.
Yes, and it's a nice country. And then I would still have my parents there and stay in Germany. They will always stay there. I don't like to live in Germany, but it's a really nice country too. The nature, the air is like the best air ever.
What do your parents? They plan to finish in Germany?
They actually they stayed. They had their company for more than 15 years about translation and software, and they made a good fortune. And then they saved and they planned the house. We had a good house, everything good, okay, good, really good. And then they have for the really good house, and they made it already. It's like if someday you go to Germany maybe, and then you will come. It's a great house.
Where is it?
It's in south of Germany. It's like in the Schwarzwald, Schwarzwald.
Oh wow.
Calf, like this really nature place. And my father, he just goes out in the woods. It's like. It's awesome, and the air, you can like, if you would be there now and you breathe it, you could really like, it's coming in the lungs. It's a great place, and the house.
Tips to you, I think you pick up a lot of energies as you described yourself when you were a child. You pick up people's energies, that's why you feel that they are. And if you see how we are, we often feel that we have energies or the spirit in us, but our spirit is actually here. If you measure it with these electrofards, you see the aura. They call it the aura. Some see the aura. Can you see aura?
Not see. I think I can feel it.
Yes. Okay, so you have to protect. You have to create that aura around you, and it's the best way to do that is to just think about it and say. Protect yourself with this color that works for you. A lot of people feel that pink works for them.
Color,
and then you just see that nobody can get through to that. Even if they try to, the hand just dissolves. Nice. My daughter is the same. We have trained a lot with her to protect herself because she picks up on other people's energies all the time. And that's an amazing skill when you can use it to your favor instead of just feeling attacked.
I think I'm just like at this time of my life I learned it. I'm in the middle of learning it. I feel like more I have like kind of like a people can't get to me not too easily.
Yeah.
Because I can see like there's something behind. If someone attack me, I know there's some reason behind. They have their problems.
Yeah.
And if they try to put it on me, it's like I can see over the thing. Yeah. Are looking good, right? Where are you going?
Oh, sorry about the pump.
What?
Okay.
You're doing something in the sun.
Are you watering something?
Yeah, it's true. Well, yeah, I forgot that the machine is hooked up to this pump. You're filming, right?
Oh gosh, I forgot about that. That's very long. No, it stopped.
Okay. So I won't worry about. I'm almost done. We're right back. Yeah.
Yesterday I could feel your energy.